Hello, Internet, and welcome to the Free-to-Play Cast. We're here, we've got the news, we've got the hosts. It's time for another show. This time it's episode 56, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. I am magicman here every week, and with me, a team I'm a little nervous about. We've got Brim on the line. How are you, sir?
Oh, just Brim. I thought you were going to use my whole name.
Brim Lickens.
Brim Lickens. I think whatever the next beta I get into, I think that's what's going to be my alias.
Please be a game I can put a space in my name.
Exactly.
Brim Lickens. That was definitely a derp moment for you.
Yeah.
Also on the line, you've heard her laugh already. Demina, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
You ready to go? We've got some games to talk about. Do you have
Ready.
some opinions on these games?
I do have opinions on these games.
There were a couple of people last time you were on that were, I had to defend the wife's honor.
You did a very nice job.
Oh, I appreciate that. Let's slide over and get started with the news. All right, so this little tidbit happened shortly after we recorded the last episode. People were looking for us to talk about it on the last episode. Alas, the show had already been recorded. So, as promised, we're going to lead it off with I would say the biggest announcement, Brim, right? That happened this week.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was so disappointed that it literally happened like the day after I think we recorded, didn't it?
Yeah. It was like the next day or maybe 2 days at most after our recording, and we're like,
I was
okay,
freaking out.
Yeah, I got Facebook. Did you see this? So Tera and Moss Entertainment, Blue Hole Studios, a company involved in all that fun stuff with NCSoft and litigation. Tera going free to play. Now, we had the story and we briefly mentioned it on the previous show about it going free to play in Japan and Korea, right? At that time, though, the North America, Europe model, they made all kinds of statements that said, hey, we're still looking at bringing the content over from Tera, but there's no plans for us to change our model. We're not going to change the pricing model. 4 days later, boom, we're changing the pricing model. So now everybody eventually will be free. Japan and Korea, one's going in January, one's going in February. North America, Europe, going in February. Now, according to the FAQ, there is no exact date, so more on that to come. As of this recording, who knows? Could be announced tomorrow the way we had the luck last week. But there's no exact date. It's sometime in February. So, none of us are surprised by this, right? I don't think anybody was really surprised by this, Demina.
No. No, I don't think. It was coming.
Yeah, and we talked about when the game first came out, Brim, that we were in beta, and it's like, look at all these consumables. The Chrono Scroll thing just lent itself to, you could play the game, and if you played at a certain high level, you could pay for your subscription by just playing the damn game. Even in beta, a lot of us were like, yeah, this is built to be a free-to-play game.
Yeah, I remember that. We I think at the beginning we thought it was just going to be free to play, like off the bat, weren't we?
Well, you gave it a da bomb on one of our very, very first free to play cast episodes. I think like somewhere in the vicinity of episode 1 to 4, you gave it your weekly bomb at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when it was still in development. So it lasted in the North America market. It lasted 9 months. Came out May 1st last year. Assuming that it's early February, that's about 9 months. Now, it has been sub a lot longer in the East, in Japan and Korea areas, but 9 months in the North America market. So, technically, it didn't last as long as the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah. And to be fair, though, the Old Republic made the free-to-play conversion in November, but they announced it in like August, which would have been about 9 months there too. Tera's just making the announcement and then boom, making the conversion. So let's talk about it a little bit. We'll talk about the game. I did sub to Tera for a little while when it first came out. Again, I pretty much do that with every MMO, even if it's sub-based, much to Domina's anger sometimes.
Most of the time.
You don't even think you're going to like that game. I know, but I got to play it. I got to play it. But that's going to be a sub. I know. Sorry. I got to play it. So I did sub to this for a little while, quit, went back, and played it a little bit. Never really got too deep into it. I think my main is like the mid-30s and was a warrior. So let's talk a little bit about the game, the combat, and the free-to-play model. Give the viewers our opinions. Let's start with the game itself. Brim, what do you think? You like the action combat, and you kind of like that in Raiders. But what's your impression of the game Tera itself?
I like the graphics. I still like the classes. I like the game style. As far as a game for itself, I recommend it to just about anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything too new, right? Besides the action combat. I mean, the action combat, when it first launched in Korea, was very new, and then when it came to North America, a couple games had already started to kind of tread that ground in the whole action combat. In my opinion, a lot smoother than Raiders. And I said that in the Raiders' first look. That, I understand it was action combat, and two-handed weapons should be used slower, and have a slower speed, more damage type thing, but in Raiders it still felt sluggish, even if I was playing a faster class, and that overall I just thought Tera did the action combat better than Raiders. As far as the rest of the game, though, Domina, it's pretty run-of-the-mill, right? It's just a bunch of kill and escort quests, some instances.
Oh, I hate escort quests. But yes, I do not like escort quests.
So what's your overall feeling of the game then?
It's not, I'm not surprised that it went free to play. This has been coming, and I don't think that it's anything terribly new, and that probably is why this lends itself to free to play also. It's not bad, but I'm not going to say that it's fantastic.
Okay, so just based on gameplay then, let me get, before we talk about model or anything like that, just based on gameplay, once it goes free to play, let's get a bead on the three of us. Who's actually going to play the game with any regularity? I don't mean an every night type thing, but maybe a once a week type thing. Brim, are you part of the new Tera player that previously wasn't a player?
Yeah, I'll probably look into it.
Domina?
Like
sorry,
you
Brim,
said,
go ahead.
it wouldn't be an every night thing.
Well, yeah, you're too addicted to Warframe.
That'll be later, but yeah.
What about you, Domina?
I check it out just because I like to see how things, when they make that transfer from a sub or a box or whatever to free to play, how smoothly that goes. So yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
I'll tell you, I've been playing it. When they made this announcement, I was not subbed, but anybody that had the accounts and were inactive got like a 7-day thing added to their account. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, let's jump in. I got to get ready to do the first look for it anyway. The first look will be coming. We're going to try to do it as close to the actual free-to-play launch as possible. That way we have the most up-to-date information. So stay tuned for the first look. We're not going to put it up early and then miss something in the first look that we should have covered. Let's talk about the model, to Domina's point, the way this is breaking down free. They've got like all these different categories, and at first, Brim, I saw this and was like, oh, damn, here we go. We got the elite, and we got the free, and we got the founder, and it's all the tiers, and the this, and the that, and the ugh. And then when you actually start digging into it, particularly if you watch the trailer, which Domina loved the trailer, because they kind of poked a little fun at the Old Republic there. when you actually started digging into it, not a bad model, right, Domino? So we've got 3 different tiers: Elite, Free, and Founder. Tell us a little bit about those.
I actually love this model. So you have of course, your free status, which is basically you're free to play, and you have a few restrictions here and there, but I didn't find there to be anything that was so limiting that you couldn't play the full game.
Yeah, it was mostly like character slots and bank spaces type deal.
Yes. And so you have your free, and then you have your founder status, which is if you ever bought the box or did a digital download or subbed, or even if you didn't sub, if you purchased the software in some form, you're considered a founder, and those restrictions are lifted. I think it was 8 character slots.
Yeah.
You get now 200 bank slots, and then you get some bonuses amount and founder title status and things like that, which is kind of cool because I really like that they recognize the people that already did put their money into this product.
Yeah, even if you didn't sub for a long time, you still get that because you bought the box.
Yes, and I think that's probably what I like the most is that
you brought up an interesting point when we were talking about this before the show too, that they're not reserving founders to those that have already purchased the software. You can still purchase the software now, which is dirt cheap on Amazon or eBay. You've got to find one new because you need that key. But if you purchase the digital download or the software, they said even after the free-to-play conversion, you can still attain founder status just by registering your key.
Yeah, so as long as you've got that key, then you are a founder.
Seems like a great way to get those boxes off the shelf, huh?
Sure does.
Mm-hmm.
But
we're not making any more, but we still would like the money for the ones we did.
But even more than that, what I like the most is that, for people like us who have paid already to purchase this software, there is a recognition that, we were a part of this before it went free to play, and so we get this bonus. But then you can also choose an optional
Tamina was
sub,
just like, I played Tera before it was cool.
You hipster.
So you can also sub still, and that will get you elite status. And that'll get you some consumables, and it'll give you a little shorter cooldown on some dungeons. But to be honest, I didn't see anything in the elite status that was so enticing that I would go for it, but that doesn't mean that somebody who's a serious, with the rating and everything wouldn't go for the shorter cooldown period.
That and I thought it was cool that you could slide back and forth, right? You could sub for a couple of months, and if you were a founder, you became elite. You still retained your founder stuff, but you gained the perks of the elite. And then if you let your sub lapse, you could it would just revert you back to founder. If you're a free-to-play player, when it goes live and you download the free client, you can't get the founder stuff without purchasing the software, but you can still go from free to elite by subbing and back and forth between free and elite. So there's a lot of motion between the tiers, too.
You have a lot of options. I mean, it's nice that if you want to, if you know that you're going to be hardcore rating for 2 months and you want to pay that sub to get the shorter cooldown period, you can do that and then revert back to your free status for, 6 months until your serious rating again or whatever. And I think I really, really, really like this model.
I have to agree. A huge thumbs up from me, especially in the trailer when they said, hey, we're not limiting your content or taking away your hot bars. You gotta love that. I am a big fan of the model as well. What about you, Brim? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm actually, while I'm listening, I'm just looking at the link here and just going over. I'm like, yeah, I can definitely get behind that.
I mean, they didn't limit content in any way. It seems like you're free, you're founders, you get the same level of content that's already in the game. By getting that elite, you're just getting some faster cooldowns and the opportunity to run one or two extra things per day. So it seems like you're getting a benefit for being elite rather than a hindrance because you're free.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm really, really a big fan of the model. Overall, I'm going to say I like that it's going free. We saw it coming, so no big deal. In fact, we talked about this on previous shows, and I predicted Secret World would go free first, and then Tera. Secret World went buy to play, and then Tera went free, so count it, for me or against me, however you want. It was free for me because I already had the Secret World software. But, yeah, I like the game. I like the model. Is it doing anything new besides, at the time, the action combat, which isn't so new anymore? No, there is the additional aspect of the BAMs, the big-ass monsters, that are just all over the place, and you've got to take those guys down, and there's a fun factor in soloing those, and a lot of them are you'll get stonewalled the first time you fight them, but then you'll figure out their mechanics, and it'll be like a mini one-on-one raid thing. You can solo a lot of them depending on your class. There's definitely a lot of variety. The art style's very nice. I like the art style. The gameplay is just standard, and there's no way around that. It's just standard gameplay, standard MMO fare. All in all, I give it as a free-to-play title a thumbs up. And it is one that I'll be in and out of, just like I'm in and out of Secret World pretty much every other day right now. As a sub, it wasn't enough for me to stay subbed for longer than 2 months. As a free-to-play title, I definitely think it's one worth checking out. I'll give you a tip, though, guys, when you guys jump in.
Okay.
Or Brim, when you jump in, more to the point. Turn off global chat right away. As soon as you get in, turn off global chat. All global chat turns into is people trolling. And I will tell you right now, no, Alienware is not the best gaming computer out there. No, World of Warcraft was not the first MMO. That's what you have to look forward to in global chat. So shut that pain off. Just get it off your screen right to begin with. And have fun. The one cool thing that, Brim, I want to get your take on this, and I wish more games would do this. In Tera, when you first roll a character, whatever class it is, they take you to a prologue where you're automatically upped in level. You're like level 20 and you have all the abilities of a level 20. And you play this little prologue which kind of teaches you both, it's a tutorial, teaches you the mechanics of the game, but also gives you a glimpse in, here's the stuff that you can look forward to your character being able to do, and this is the type of gameplay that you'll be experiencing, which I think is fantastic. Then you get out of the tutorial, it drops you to level 1, and off you go with the storyline. I think that's huge, especially since some of these classes don't play the way you would expect them to by name. A warrior, for the most part, is not going to be a tank in Tera. And if it is, which I play a tank warrior, it's an evasion tank. It's not the sit there and get pummeled on and just keep it busy. It's an evasion tank. It's very, very in-depth. So I love that you get that feel of, here's what your character's going to be able to do. Do you like the gameplay or not? We're showing it to you right off the bat so that if you don't, back out, delete, reroll.
Yeah. I like that. I know you weren't talking to me specifically, but I like that.
See, now Damina has opinions, and she's like, I don't care what Brim says.
People are going to be sick of hearing me talk now.
What do you think, Brim? I mean, I don't think there's enough games that do that.
Yeah,
and you end up with like a level 42 that you're like, I freaking hate this character.
Been there. I have been there. Yeah, that I can stand behind that. I can actually name 2 or 3 people that we've played with who would sit there and complain because they're like, why don't they just give us all the abilities to start with so that we know how we're going to play our character and blah, 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 blah. And
yep.
So, yeah, I can...
And you, of course, have the option to skip it, too. It's not a requirement every time you roll.
Right.
So, I love it. Big fan of it going free to play. For the most part, I've seen the forums and in-game chat. I've been talking to people that have been subbed for a long time. All the people that did not sub to this or never played it are very excited that it's going free to play. And there's a general negativity in the people that used to pay that this is going free. So pretty typical with what goes on.
Maybe haven't done their research, though. Because you're getting a bonus because you did that. You're getting recognition because you did that. They were smart to throw in this founder.
No, it's more of a, uh-oh, here come the damn freebies.
Yeah, but you get that
invading our game
every single time that this happens.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's par for the course. I give it a thumbs up, and yes, I'll be playing it, and if people want to know servers and character names, that's fine. I have like a 30-some warrior, and I just started an archer. It's like level 15. You're probably watching the footage of that over this. Oh! I can't believe I almost forgot this, Brim. If you want to get a jump start, you can. Tera has what's called the Discovery Edition in North America, in the North America EU model. And it was basically that free trial, Brim, and I made you play it, and you actually gave the browser version an A-bomb on a previous show. Mm-hmm. But you can do the client version too. So you can do the Discovery Edition, which will keep you capped at level 28 for right now. But once it goes free to play, anybody that's in the Discovery Edition, it just rolls you over automatically to a free account. So you could literally jump in now without spending a dime on the Discovery Edition and get a little bit of a jump start, have it all downloaded and patched, because that's the one big gripe I have with the game. The patcher sucks, and the launcher sucks. So get it all downloaded and patched before everybody else is doing it, and get a little bit of a jump start, which is, I think, they're doing this right. They're doing this right. Thumbs up from me. Brim?
Thumbs up. Definitely.
Boy, that was short for you.
Yeah.
Damina, any more opinions on this one?
No. Just a thumbs up for me.
Cool. All right, let's move on. Fish AO by Gameovation BV. So this is kind of like news of the weird. I didn't see this one coming. It's a small Dutch-based company that's making a fishing MMO. And Brim, you're going to have to help me with this, because I hate those ancillary crafting things like fishing and cooking and first aid in World of... I just don't do it. I pick my two professions and I max them out, and there we go. I don't do the side stuff, but you love this type of crap. So Fish AO, or Fish Always Online, is a fishing MMO. Kind of looks like a cross between Pokemon and Animal Crossing, maybe. It's going to be browser-based and Facebook-based. There's 151 different types of fish. I wonder where they got that number. You Pokemon fans out there will recognize that as the original number. You can compete with other people. There's puzzle-type stuff where you have to figure out or what lure you should be using, what items you need to catch up rare fishes and stuff like this. I don't know if I would ever play this. I mean, I'll probably do the first look on it. God, that's going to be a boring first look. We're going to spend 15 minutes watching magicman fish. I could actually, though, see somebody like you or Havoc. I could actually see you guys playing this for long periods of time, provided the gameplay is solid, as long as it's controllable. One, you guys are crazy ridiculous on collecting things, mounts and pets and things like that. And two, you actually like those sub-meta game things in other MMOs, and now, boom, we heard you like fishing. Here's, boom, a fishing MMO. Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think of this? Because I'll play it for the first look, and I think that's about it.
You're right. I enjoy my crafting. Now, hold on. Let me finish. I enjoy my crafting in all my games. I enjoy my pets, enjoy mounts, whatever. But to have an entire game devoted to a crafting, or gathering profession, whatever you want to call this, I'm going to have to say no.
Oh, come on. You can't give it that.
No.
I mean, look at the popularity of Animal Crossing.
Hell,
Hell, look at Facebook and Farmville. What is that? You know?
Well, you see, this right here, that's all I think of is this should be on either the iPhone or Facebook or something.
Well, it's going to be on Facebook. Browser-based and on Facebook.
Yeah.
At least that's the plan right now. You're
Well,
going to play it.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No, I didn't.
I can see you
Farmville.
and Havoc. Oh, man, we got to film this video. This would actually be worth watching. Have you and Havoc competing for these rare catches. Oh, that'd be a great video.
That would get, like, mean, I feel like.
I know. I would have to break out the bleep sound effect.
Remember when we were playing WoW? And Havoc was getting all his achievements. Like, that was where his focus was at the time, and I had just started playing.
Oh yeah, he was big time achievement whoring, and Brim, you kind of do that too. Not nearly to the extent Havoc does.
Right.
But
I was.
Happened.
Yeah.
We want to talk about mean, so we're all on vent, and I'm talking, and all of a sudden I say, "Oh my God, this big dragon just came and it killed all of us, and I'm dead." And I got some achievement for it.
Oh, when Deathwing used to fly over.
Yeah.
And he was so mad at me. He had been trying to get that achievement for so long, and I had just started playing, and I didn't even know what had just happened. I didn't even know who had just killed me. I just saw this big dragon fly across, and there I was dead. And I was pissed. I was like, oh my God, I'm dead. I didn't even do anything. I didn't try to fight it. I didn't think it could get me, you know? Oh, yeah, so it would get down and dirty, I feel like.
I want to watch you two compete.
If you turn it into that, yeah, I'll play it.
I'll make
What's that, Tamina?
I'll make the popcorn.
Oh, see, now this sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
This sounds like a deal.
We could live stream this. I'm
Game
so
Ovation, I want Fish AO spectator mode.
You get Havoc in, and I'll do it.
Give me spectator mode. I will commentate on that. Looks like Havoc's going with the blue flyfish lure.
Oh, God.
Brim's opted for the red butterfly.
Apparently you have to sound like a creeper to...
No, that's a golf announcer.
That was kind of creeper. Maybe it was creeper golf announcer.
Oh, they both cast.
No, let's watch.
Let's watch. And then if it's spectator mode, you can have fun with the cameras, like zoom in. Here's Brim on the pier, just standing by the boat. I talked to Brim
he's got
before.
a fish and it's a beauty.
I talked to Brim before today's tournament. He said he scoped out this location with infrared.
Jeez.
This has got to happen now. It has to. The first look for this game will be you two playing, and then I'll lay down a commentary track on top of it afterwards.
That makes Naruto will be the one that comes and jumps in the water and disturbs all the fish while they're fishing.
Right. Oh, and then here's Brim. Chilling back, drinking a beer. Who is that? Oh, running across, jumping in the water. Oh, and Brim's out of this one. Let's turn over to Havoc. He's got a beauty.
Terrible. I don't think that's what these people had in mind.
I don't think it is either, but I think we just invented a game that's going to sell a lot more. Speaking of sell, what do you put in the cash shop for a game like this?
Lures.
Yeah, it's going to be all lures.
Okay, so it's a pay-to-win fishing game? I don't get it.
Fishing poles, customizable fishing poles.
about a boat?
Customizable! Have you seen the graphics? It's literally like 8-bit Pokemon Animal Crossing type graphics. And I'm not bashing the game. I'm sure it's going to be one of those little, like, those games that you look at and you're just like, God, that's got to be so boring. And then you play it and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, it's 2 a.m. You know, I'm sure it's gonna be one of those types of games, and I'm definitely gonna try it. I mean, it's just too weird not to try, right? But Brim and Havoc, that match has definitely got to happen. But overall, Brim, you're giving this one thumbs up, thumbs down. We don't have a ton of information besides what we've speculated on. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I don't know. I can't. if like I said, if it's going to be a competition thing between me and Havoc, yeah, I gotta give it a thumbs up.
Damina?
I don't know. Sure, I'll give it. I don't even know what to think about this one, honestly.
I'm going to give it a thumbs up. It's a small Dutch company. They look to be creating something that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek and fun. It's not meant to be taken seriously. There's definitely people that will play this. For crying out loud, Pokemon X and Y are coming out later this year, so we've got 6 generations of that stuff now.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So
Really?
Fish AO, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think it's going to be a cute little time killer or via browser and Facebook. But I want my spectator mode. Last up, real quick, I just wanted to get your feedback. Neverwinter, Cryptic Studios and Perfect World Entertainment, still not starting beta. In fact, they were doing an alpha key release on their site today as of this recording. It was a one-day type deal where you answered what class you wanted to roll, and then they gave out, or tomorrow, as of this recording, they're going to give out random alpha keys. So I got my beta key registered. Maybe I'll get an alpha and jump in a little earlier. So we've had multiple classes revealed now via trailer. We've had the Guardian Fighter, the Control Wizard, the Trickster Rogue, and the Great Weapon Fighter being the most recent. Yeah, that's its name. It's the Great Weapon Fighter. It's a two-hander. No sword and board, two-hander. You guys have seen all the videos. There's still not a whole lot to talk about because nobody that is playing it can talk about it. So I just want to pose this question to you since it's the question they posed on their forums for you to have a chance to win an alpha key. If the game launched right now, what class would you roll and why, Brim?
Trickster.
I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, you know.
There was no hunter on the list, so this was the next logical decision for you.
Yeah, we got to take a hiatus. You know me too well.
We are going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus in about a month and a half. More details to come on that. But yeah, we're going to take a little break. We've been going at it for a year and year plus straight, so want to give the hosts a week or two off. Damina, what about you?
I think I would probably...
Wait, hold on. Brim, why are you going rogue? What did you like about the video?
I was looking at... I like the stealth thing they got going on.
Never seen that before.
Hey, now. I'm not looking for something that hasn't been done in this. I'm just looking for stuff that I know I'll be able to play. I don't know. I've never been really the warrior guy, and I'm not a source magic user, and so this was the next logical choice.
Damina?
I probably would go with the wizard, with the control wizard, just because that seems to be what I always do. But
Right.
I like the trickster too. I played a rogue a couple of times in different games, and I like that too. I just seem to be better with the wizard.
I don't know if better is the word.
Sleeping on the couch.
I'm going to go with Control Wizard too. Reason being 2 words, magic missile.
Hey-o.
Heyo. And the one thing I will say for Cryptic and Perfect World, I mean, it's Neverwinter's highly anticipated. It just keeps getting a little bit better, a little bit better. You know, it has a lot of potential from what we've seen, but it's not realized yet because we haven't been able to play it. And I get the whole that they're trying to name the classes a little differently than other games, trying to stand out, be unique, you know. But Great Weapon Fighter, really?
Yeah, but you knew exactly what it was, and so did I. If you say to me Great Weapon Fighter, then they're fighting with a great weapon, with a two-hander.
Yeah,
I
but
know
what's
that
the next trailer going to be? Dude with bow? I typed that on the forums on this trailer, or on the website on this trailer. I was like, that's calling it a Great Weapon Fighter is like calling an archer dude with bow.
I would be very surprised if this continued to be Great Weapon Fighter into release.
You think?
I think it's a work in progress. Isn't that the point? Or it's supposed to be the point of the beta, but, you know, I digress.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm all for unique little names and stuff to make your game stand out so that not every game's using Barbarian, Berserker, Warrior, stuff like that. But great weapon fighter.
Well, did you really need to put Trickster in front of Rogue? I mean...
Yeah, but at least it makes sense. Yeah. Great weapon fighter. Just like...
Well, but they have a Guardian fighter also.
I'm now going to start calling myself dude who drives kids to school bus stop.
I'm going to call you dude who's in the doghouse arguing with me.
I get it. I mean, as soon as you saw the title, you were like, ooh, a duel, somebody that's using a two-hander. Play, yep. Let me see this. Mm-hmm. All right, we're all excited about Neverwinter. I don't think we need to do a thumbs up on that one. We all are. So we're gonna slide over to the bombs here in just a second. I want to tell you guys at MMOBomb.com we've got a lot going on right now. We still have Bomb Live running. That's a live stream every Monday and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific United States time. That's Spunkify on Mondays, myself, magicman, on Wednesdays. Over the course of the week, we've had Arcblade, we've had Loadout, we've had a lot of Warframe keys coming in, and we keep giving them out and giving them out and giving them out quickly. Make sure you're always constantly coming back and checking. You never know when we're going to get a restock from a developer or from our own archives and throw them up on the site. Speaking of Warframe, last week we did talk about Warframe. Digital Extremes actually had some conversation going in the YouTube section of last week's free-to-play cast. They said they wanted to clarify for magicman that players get 4 revives each day they log in. No need to hoard them so closely. Very cool of them to jump in and talk to the community, and that's one of the huge things I love about Digital Extremes right now. They've made changes to Warframe based on the gamers. Brim, you just saw that this past update, the Pro is now able to be attained without cash up currency, the Pro skill tree.
Yep.
So definitely kudos to them. We knew that the revives were 4 and they replenished each day. After listening to the show back again, I could see why some people thought, we didn't, because we never made it explicitly clear. We added an annotation that we did in fact know about that. And I did express, I understand that, but, that still makes me not want to group up with strangers. Because some of those missions, hell, you could go through 4 revives in the first 5 minutes of the mission as you get higher up there. To which Digital Extremes did inform me, well, then you can go play another Warframe. Oh. Those crafty bastards! So kudos to Digital Extremes dev team. Thank you so much for talking to the viewers there, and good luck with Warframe. We're loving it right now. So let's slide over and do the weekly bombs. Brim, you're up first.
Hey, you might as well get it out of the way. The bomb to Warframe. You knew it was coming. Yeah, I played with a couple friends last night, viewers. Had a lot of fun. The game is just all around great. I'm having just way too much fun in it.
I'm seeing tweets from you at like 1 a.m. our time that you're just getting on now.
I told X-Lite last night, he was the one I was playing with. We were up until about 2:30 my time. I think he was about 3 hours behind me. And I said, man, I got to work in 4 hours. I got to
go. Demina, weekly bomb, dub bomb, A bomb. What do you got?
I got an A bomb.
Ugh.
Oh, sorry. But this just happened today, so I think it's interesting. So I've got an A-bomb to SOE and Wizardry Online for their last-minute 2-week delay in launch.
Oh, jeez.
Because this was supposed to launch tomorrow, and this just happened today, that they delayed. And then they took 4 pages to even begin to kind of sort of address the reason why, and then they basically gave a blow-off, and I can't stand that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a forum post. We're recording today. It's the 15th. It's supposed to launch tomorrow, the 16th, now being delayed 2 weeks to the 30th. And they announced via a forum post earlier today, and it was just very vague, we're delaying it. And then, like you said, it was 4 pages of very, very angry replies.
Uh-huh.
until Piestro, community manager for SOE, said the transition on this is like on the very bottom of page 4 of this thread. The transition from beta to live requires integrating a good number of other systems. We're also planning to launch on Steam, which complicates matters and requires other sorts of implementation work. Specifics aren't necessarily meaningful to those who aren't familiar with our internal systems or particularly valuable. That being said, we aren't wasting this time and are definitely looking to see what else we can accomplish. More news later this week, I'm suspecting.
Seems to me like you wasted the time up until this time, so...
We're not wasting these 2 weeks because we already wasted 2.
We wasted the last 2, but we promise we're not going to waste the next 2.
It's just like, what a cop-out of an excuse, too. Like, okay, if something mission-critical goes wrong, we talked about this with Ragnarok Online, too, right? And all 3 of us had a lot of respect for Asiasoft initially. Not anymore, but initially, because they said, whoa, our beta servers and website got crushed, man. We weren't ready for that. We're sorry. We're going to delay the beta, and it's totally our fault. We appreciate how, I mean, they were just uber upfront about it. Yeah, you guys crushed us, and we weren't ready. Our fault.
You know what this was? This was, we're going to delay, but you're too stupid for us to tell you why. Sorry. I mean, really?
And look at the reasons that, well, quote reasons. The transition from beta to live requires integrating with a good number of systems, also planning to launch on Steam, which complicates matters. Did these 2 things just, happen to them today?
Surprise!
Or late last night? They were like, oh, that's right. We were going to go from beta to the live servers. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
Totally forgot we had a launch. Oh, we were going to launch on Steam. Did anybody do the Steam paperwork? Anybody? No? Contract's not? Oh, damn. Ugh. Yeah, we're going to need 2 weeks. I mean, these aren't things that sneak up on you. You could almost excuse it, Brim, if it was like a really small indie developer, right? Maybe they weren't quite ready for what happened on... maybe they weren't quite ready for what was needed to be done to get this up and running on Steam. You could excuse it if it was an indie developer, Brim, but this is Sony. They have things on Steam. They know the process. This seems like a cop-out. Something seriously is wrong, and they don't want to tell people what it is.
Yeah, it's Sony Online.
Hey, they're doing well with PlanetSide, too.
We'll see.
You are just not an SOE guy at all. I'm giving a dub on. I'm with Brim. We're on the happy team today. And it's to Tera's free-to-play model. Very, very good model. Very good model. They just need to play the content game. And does the content come out in a reasonable amount of time for a free-to-play? I mean, you don't expect it as fast as you do with a sub, but... there's the North America EU model is behind Tera already, so those updates need to continue to come. But the free-to-play model, dub-bomb to NMOS and Bluehole, and I loved your free-to-play trailer, including the hotbar slap to Star Wars: The Old Republic. So from the viewers, Donald says, my weekly dub-bomb goes to Wizardry Online.
Aww.
To be fair, Donald posted this a few days ago prior to this announcement. I'm catching the end of open beta just before the wipe. I absolutely love it. Best dungeon instance style MMO I've ever played. Multiple dungeon instances to enter, but not exclusive to you or your party. The dungeons are challenging. They are seriously challenging, and I freaking love it. After a first playthrough, a dungeon only takes about 30 minutes, but when you run a dungeon without a guide, it can take as long as 2 hours to work through the puzzles and navigate the passageways. Permadeath is possible, but it's not likely. It still adds that sense of danger to the game. The most exciting feature would be the open PvP. If killed in a dungeon, other players and monsters can loot your corpse, so you need to rush to resurrect. This game's loads of fun. I'm going to lay off it till full release. January 14th is the open beta wipe, then the 16th is the full release, I think. Donald, no. Sorry, my friend. Yes, it was the 16th. Now it's the 30th. I'm glad Donald likes the game, but he's exactly the type of person that now Sony Online's probably pissed off, right, Tamina?
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. That is exactly why this is such a problem.
You're
He's
very
exactly
angry
the
about this, and you don't even
person
like this game.
That is angry about this. What?
You don't even like this game, and you're so angry about this.
I don't like when companies do this to consumers. I just don't. Nope.
Vespatine says, I have an A-bomb for devs. The A-bomb is for a dev of a game that I don't think we can talk about yet since it's still in beta weekend stages. Basically, I give an A-bomb out to the devs that hype their games as if they were the second coming of Jesus. I also was so excited to get beta access to the game and ended up uninstalling the client within 15 minutes of gameplay. I think 10 of those minutes was wasted on confusion of the hype given to the game. Let me just give a dub-bomb to Havoc for getting worked up about his annoyances he had with the game. I can't think of what game you might be talking about.
Come on, it's the game.
The game. Isn't that's the name of the game in the Guild, isn't it? In the Felicia Day's web series, it's just called The Game.
I don't know.
Come on, guys, you got to keep up on the Guild.
It
Make a
too
crappy
funny.
username. What do they have to say, Brim?
Oh, I like that name.
Make a crappy username.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like this one. This has to be my favorite bomb of all time. Dub bomb to Minesweeper. I've been playing it a lot recently, and although it is a bit of a quest grind, I am totally addicted. Love the awesome gameplay and great story. The graphics are outstanding. I play Minesweeper for hours at a time. Thank you, mega crappy username.
Can I just tell you that when magicman showed me this one, I actually had to ask him, wait, is there a different game called Minesweeper that I don't know about?
You know what? In the back of my mind, I was like, all right, there's copyright issues somewhere in this.
XI Light says, the bomb to Brim and to the free-to-play cast.
Woohoo!
That's your Warframe buddy, huh?
Yeah, and actually, this was before we even played Warframe together, and I wasn't even supposed to be on this show. So thank you, X-Light.
Yeah, you weren't even. You were called in off the bench.
I was.
Michael Driscoll says, I personally think and hope the Elder Scrolls Online goes buy to play, and my bomb is to Tera Online going free to play. There's a lot of people excited, and can I just say something? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of people excited about Tera going free to play, and I can understand that. I enjoy the game, but I just think that a month from now, there's going to be a lot of backlash by a lot of people that may think this game is more than it is and are going to be pissed in a month and start talking about how bad the game is. So enjoy it for the graphics, enjoy it for the combat, it is fun, and then everything else is standard MMO fare, with the exception of there's more big-ass monsters laying around than most MMOs. You know, I'm glad you give it a bomb, Michael. I hope you enjoy it, because I enjoy it, but there's some people that are seriously like, oh, yeah, so Tera going free to play. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. But never played it, and I'm just worried that like a month from now, it's just going to be like, Tera, it's so awful. No wonder it's free to play. So it's a normal MMO, you know. It doesn't go out of its way to do questing or anything different, but the combat's fun. And PvP is actually fun, and I hate PvP. So our question last week, and we'll get your take on this, you two, since I already answered this. What pricing model do you think the Elder Scrolls Online is going to launch with? Is it going to be buy-to-play, like a Guild Wars 2 type deal with a buy-to-play and a cash shop? Totally free-to-play with a cash shop? Or do you think they're going to launch sub-based, Brim?
I feel like I've already answered this.
Oh, you were on last week's show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already. I'm sorry, Damina, go ahead.
I think at launch this is probably going to be... I'm caught between I'm caught between a sub and a box. I think it's going to be sub based for a little while at least.
So at launch, sub required.
Hmm. I think you'll probably get your standard, buy the box, get so many days, 30 days free, whatever it is. But I think it's going to be a sub at launch.
Interesting. Bullsey says ESO will be pay to play at start. Judging by the rather horrible decisions ZeniMax seems to be making in terms of implementing this game, I see the game following the Star Wars The Old Republic path. I bet it'll be free to play about a year after release. They have time, though, so maybe they'll surprise me. So there's one for sub. Removal Mitt says, I don't have an issue with the 4 revives given daily, talking about Warframe. I have to decide whether it's worth using it mainly when I'm on my own. Rarely die if I have at least one other player, all randoms and squads. For me, it's an acceptable way for them to generate some revenue. I'll argue this for them as they're listening to the community and getting rid of the pro upgrade, so that's a good sign. Also, the responses to bugs, problem queries is quite good. Totally agree. Totally agree, Removal Mitt. The way they're listening to the community is top-notch. Hopefully it's just because of beta that it's become so repetitive. Personally, I may eventually try hitting up making Ember, maybe Ash. So Removal, dig in Warframe as well. Last Rebel says Pro System is replaced, where you can get all your gear pro via farming for blueprints and crafting mats. That happened, that was like 2 days after our episode went up, right, Brem? Mm-hmm. Or 2 days before, I think.
Yep.
But we had already recorded, so it hadn't made that change yet. You liked that change.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, I thought so, too. I mean, that was like a pay-to-win system.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they took it away. Creed. Well, he's got that whole Elite Speak 3 thing going for the E, but that makes it Creed. Says, I sort of agree with you, Magic Man. See, I'm not the only one. On the group revive deal, I played a couple of games with randoms, and they just ran through the level without waiting for anyone, and every time I died, I was all alone with no one around to revive me. I ended up having to use a couple of my revives due to incompetent party members. Exactly my point, and that's exactly what happened to me, which is why I only group with people I know. Yep. What's that next one, Brim?
Vinicius? Man, I don't know. Vinicius Pays.
There you go.
Hi, all. Great show, as always. For me, Elder Scrolls Online will be buy to play with a cash shop. For now, that will be the future of great MMORPGs.
Hard to argue.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean,
I think the success of Guild Wars 2, how well it did. I mean, everybody anticipated it was going to do well, but how well it did, I think, kind of changed what might be the norm going forward for a little while. The Mayon says Elder Scrolls Online will be buy to play. The Scroll series is just too much fun and has a history of quality gaming that the developers and publishers will use to convince people to buy the game. I do believe that within a year it will be more affordable to most, if not all, gamers. So we're kind of all over the map, huh? Muffin's Crib says, I think the Elder Scrolls Online will be monthly sub, but here's hoping it will be free to play. And Jabba969 says, Elder Scrolls Online, while I would love it to go free to play, probably going to launch with the cash shop, I think, purely because Guild Wars 2 was so successful. Won't stop me from playing it, haha. So we're kind of like all over the place, right? It's interesting that everybody has a different take. Not too many people said free to play, but there were a couple. For the most part, it's pretty close between sub and buy-to-play. It's surprisingly close. I thought buy-to-play was going to walk away with this. I mean, that was all of our feedback last week, right, Brim?
Yeah, I believe you are correct there.
One last member piece of information. This was sent just today. Sniperman 248, not happy with Jagex, and apparently a lot of RuneScape players are not happy and have continued to be not happy and more not happy lately. Calfight King was released yesterday on the 14th, as you know, maybe. However, this update brought a boss that takes 5 minutes to defeat and spams attacks, making it nearly impossible to kill. However, came changes to the EOC, which made armor stats completely way off, and some even bugged, causing some armors to increase by a large amount in price. But not only that, they changed some of the monsters so that they're harder to fight. Some monsters' weaknesses do not apply anymore because they're bugged also.
Aw.
With them hitting on you a ton more than they used to. The community in forums is in an uproar about this update because it destroyed the idea of fixing the economy and balancing combat, made bosses just as awful to fight. I agree with my community who's crying out on the forums and in games that things need to be fixed, that Jagex needs to pull it together, or it's over for their game, because they say we pay, and if things are not done right, we won't play. Sniper Man is not the first. I mean, we've been getting a lot of negative, unhappy RuneScape players right now with Jagex. I don't play RuneScape enough, nearly enough to speak intelligently about it, or the changes and how they've impacted things, but from what the community's saying, Brim, it's not looking good for RuneScape lately.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting.
Question of the week next week: what class are you going to roll first if you're going to play Tera? And if you're not going to play Tera, let us know why. If you're not going to check it out, I'd be interested to find out why. Is it just not your cup of tea, as they say? But if you're going to play it, what are you rolling first and why? Don't forget, while you're putting your comments down there, to put your weekly bombs there. Vital, important part of the show. Tell us da bomb for something good, a bomb for something bad. As long as it's free-to-play related, it's fair game. It doesn't have to be about a game itself. It could be about anything free-to-play related. So put your comments below. Make sure you click like, subscribe. Come on over to MMOBomb.com. Check out all the other great content we've got there. Let's throw it around for the final word. Damina, you're up.
Hopefully I talked enough this time, and had enough opinions. Fun as always to be here. It's just
Even though Brim was here? Brim Lickens?
Even though Brim Lickens was here, it was still a good time to be here. So thanks for having me. I hope everybody has a good week.
Brim.
Oh, another fantastic show.
Do you have a derp?
As always. Give me a sec. I was getting there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I got a derp.
Didn't mean to jump on your groove there.
This one comes from our dear friend Spammy.
Oh, hey, what's Spammy's Romania? If I'm remembering off the top of my head correctly.
I believe you're right. Let's see. Hi, I am Spammy. I'm a fan of the show, long-time listener. So I got a derp of the week. 2 days ago, I got this message today. So 2 days ago, he tripped and broke the nail on his middle finger.
Ugh.
Oh.
You should see me trying to play games with my big-ass left hand bandaged.
Aw.
So, Magic Man, I've come to the conclusion that our viewers just get hurt a lot.
I know. You've had multiple derps where it's just been like, well, I busted my face all open. Yipes.
That is not where I thought the derps were headed when I started this. But
No.
I enjoy it. I enjoy hearing about it. I'm glad you guys use the Twitter at BRIMTTIN. Shut up, Magic Man. And keep them coming. Been hitting the Warframe a lot lately. Had a couple guys play with me, a couple girls play, and just having a good time. Thanks for a good show.
Cool. Well, for Brim and Mina, I am Magic Man. You can follow me on Twitter at MagicMan1. That's MAGICKMANN1. You can hit me on the email at magicman@MMOBomb.com, spelled the normal way. What the hell was that?
It almost got through a whole show without anything happening.
The normal email, magicman, MAGICMAN @MMOBomb.com. And just FYI, I've been getting messages from viewers who have noticed that I've been doing some writing for Gamebreaker TV. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying with MMOBomb. I'm just a volunteer writer. Also doing, where I can write about some buy-to-play or subscription-based stuff on Gamebreaker. A great site. I've been a fan of them for a long time. I'm not leaving MMOBomb nor going anywhere. It's just a volunteer side gig, a couple articles a week type thing. So, until next time, gang, stay safe, and we'll see you out on the servers.